But when I travel on the ground level. I don't fly. When I travel, I have to deal with checkpoints. I have to deal with people wanting to see my ID and asking me questions. And that's not just here in Central America. I have to deal with that in the United States. In the United States, you think it's for your protection. They put these checkpoints up to get these drunks off the road, take care of illegals, and all this kind of stuff. And that just tells you how dumbed down you are if you believe that crap. You are in martial law in the United States. Like I say, here is more obvious. In the United States, you see the way police procedures when they stop you. That is a good example of exactly what happens down here. But down here, they know they're under martial law. They know they're under control of the state. So traveling when you're on the ground level is difficult because you have to deal with the police, military, bandits. I'm going to have to go in and explain more about how bandits, what I'm talking about on bandits. And drug cartel. These are things that we have to deal with. I know you're probably saying, well, you guys don't have to do with that. I bet there are parts of LA, parts, in other words, there's places in the United States that is no different than here. I'll bet you anything. There's places in the United States where they stop you on the street and ask you for your papers, some kind of identification. There's places in the United States where you look around and you see armed guards. These are all things that we have down here. And so the martial law isn't a bunch of tanks running around up and down the street. It's just tight control over the population. And so I have to deal with them as I travel. Okay, now, I travel. I'll put it this way. 10 years, I traveled on a motorcycle. And you've probably seen my pictures of me on the motorcycle with my dog Xena. And for 10 years, we've traveled all over. And I was definitely a refugee on that. I was always under, I always needed help from someone. On a motorcycle, you have no shelter. Now, I travel in a car. There are times I sleep in the car. Not by choice. It's really dangerous to sleep in the car. But under circumstances, sometimes I just have to. When I travel, I've got skills and abilities in which I can share that makes it so people are more willing to help me. They're more willing to, how do you say, let this refugee have a place to, to bed down. Now, this is why I stress learning skills. And there's very few single skills that you can learn that's going to open doors for you. That's why multiple skills are better. The more you learn, the more you know, the more you can do, the more you can help others. And as a refugee, you are dependent on others. So it's not like I'm a lone wolf. I am far from it. I say I really need others. And as a refugee, you are dependent on others. Now, me personally, I would rather be dependent on others than to be dependent on a government. Or to be more exact, I would be more comfortable being dependent on individuals, other individuals, than I would be to any organization at all. So even if it was a church organization, now I've never sought help. I take that back. Where I do my services, there's like 10 or 12 of us, and that's all. It's very small. And I have sought them for help. But other than that, no organized church, no big church, no nothing like that I have sought help from. I supported the Salvation Army. I have in the past, I still do now. The tornado in Moore, Oklahoma. I was there supporting the Salvation Army there. The tornado, I'm talking about the tornado in Moore, Oklahoma. And so in other words, I provide my services when I can to people that need it. And I say when I seek help, in which I seek help, especially when I'm on the road, I seek help daily. And it's always from individuals. That's why I say you need people skills. I have talked, I talked in North Carolina, Missouri, North Carolina and Missouri, those two right there. A good example of the cultural differences. And I say I want to talk about them because we speak the same language. And so I understand more what's going on. And but when I was there talking with them, when I first got there and nobody knew who I was, everybody came with the same conclusion. If I was to come as a refugee, they would kill me. They said, you'd be dead already. And so, first mistake. And I had to educate them, let them know, you just don't shoot and then go from there. I might be the first of hundreds. You better know what you're getting ready to do before you start turning violent towards refugees. That's why I talk about you need to have a plan on how to handle refugees. Like I say, their plan was to shoot them. Now, in my case, if I really was a lone refugee and they were to kill me, they would have lost a lot of information. I am full of a lot of information when it comes to nasty things. And so if they would have killed me, and then other refugees would have been showing up. They just had one problem after another. But if they would have let me stay, let me talk to me, pick my mind, find out what I'm good for, I could save them a lot of hardship in the future. But they chose to kill me. Now, another thing, that's if I was alone. I don't let people see me unless I'm ready for them to see me when I'm a refugee traveling. So in other words, if I am one of 50, well, if it's one of 50, that many, you'll see me as a three-man meet and greet group. There'll be three of us as I come in to introduce myself, and I'm not going to tell you about the rest of the 50. So what you're going to see is just us three. Now, if you choose to use force, if your idea of handling refugees is to shoot them, and I made my appearance, and I had others, like I say, I'm not going to make my appearance unless I know I'm going to have the advantage, and I'll have a goal on what it is I'm trying to get from you. So what I'm going to, in other words, when I make this appearance and you see me, if you try to use force at that time, now you've made it easier for me to decide what it is I want to do. You've been watching my videos, you realize I am big on morals. I have learned, as long as I'm on the moral high ground, I've got strengths that will see me through anything. And, but I have to be morally correct. For me to come to your area and you attempt to harm me or the people with me, you are immoral, and I have the moral responsibility and the moral strength to do what I have to do. Now, now we're back going into self-defense. So, how do I say this? I will use brutal force. And now we've come from me coming to seek help from you to now it's changed. I want everything that you have. More than likely, I want to kill you. The reason it's like that, like I told you, I'm a refugee, I'm traveling. I'm going somewhere. Otherwise, I wouldn't be traveling. Now, if I didn't have no place to go, one of the things that I would do, once I found out you are an evil person and you try to hurt me and my people, I would kill you, and I may take everything you have. And either I will stay there. If I have no place to go, I just got myself a place to call home. Maybe not all the people with me share the same goals as I do. I'm going somewhere. There might be others with me that aren't going anywhere. They will take this place. The place after we've killed you and we've taken everything that you've prepared yourself for, now they will take it. That's why morals is very, very important. When you see these refugees, you need to decide, are these refugees seeking assistance? Or, now that's another thing. A criminal is a criminal. I am not a criminal. I'm a refugee. But a criminal will seek will do bad things, seeking beneficial rewards from others. Getting these rewards are immoral the way they do it. That makes them a criminal. So that's what you need to figure out when I walk up to your area. You need to figure out, am I a criminal? Or am I a refugee? Now, once you figure out, let's say you figure out, let's go back to this. How do you evaluate these refugees, or not really, I don't want to call them refugees yet. You have people coming into your area. How do you evaluate these people? Are they a threat? Are they refugees? Are there just people coming through? You have to evaluate this and find out. This is where I talk about three-man militia and the meet and greet. You need three that really know their shit. These three need to be prepared for anything. Because like I say, they're coming up against, we don't know. That's what they're coming up against these people for, to find out who they are. If they are criminals, if they are bad people, they need to be aware and be ready to do what they have to do. Now don't forget, we are not law enforcement. To do this right, you need to have morals and you need to have a moral understanding. So now what you have to do is morally try to figure out and understand if, okay, this is a criminal, or these are criminals. What is our obligation? Talking about these and this. You're not going to find a criminal by himself. A criminal, when you have people moving, they may appear to be refugees, but if they are criminals, they are all criminals. Now, I would, let me see, how do I say this? Wait, okay. The criminal element stays together. So the only ones that are going to be in this group will be other criminals. So once you determine they are the criminal element, they are all the criminal element, and you need to take the proper steps. Okay, and the proper steps is protecting yourself, is number one, and not allowing them to see any more of your area than you could possibly help, because you don't want them to know what you have, you don't want them to know your capabilities. This criminals that you might be seeing might be the first line of criminals that are coming. So you really got to go on guard. I might have to make a video just telling you exactly how to handle the criminal element as the criminal element travels. But you have to determine what it is and decide exactly how you're going to handle the criminals. And using this three-man, it's the same three, well, you're not going to use the same three all the time. Probably as they get more experience, you rotate. In other words, out of three, you take one out and you put a new one in, and then this new person coming in can learn how to, how to judge people. But they need to come up there, and they need to be ready and prepared to fight. That's what these three are. So they're going to have some good fighting abilities, good survival tactics to be part of that three-man team. But you need to kind of take turns switching them out, so then they learn. But those same three are going to be the ones that are going to be making contact with anybody. It's always going to be the same three. But I say the three is going to be rotating and stuff like that. But you're not going to just let other people come in there and start talking to these refugees and all this stuff. And the reason is you're going to get on a personal level with them. And when you do that, it's going to be harder to make decisions. There's this thing about being moral and also being personal. I noticed I saw on one of the comments they were talking about, well, you need to take care of the women and children refugees that come in. No, you don't.